When Anna first heard about Moqui Cave, she couldn't even imagine how strange and mysterious the place could be. She had always been fond of adventures and uncharted territories, and the idea of visiting a cave in the heart of Arizona seemed like a great one. Her friend Mike suggested this vacation, and they decided to embark on this adventure together. Moqui Cave was a well-known tourist attraction, but despite that, it had a mysterious reputation. Legends and rumors of strange and incredible occurrences inside the cave surrounded the place. Anna and Mike, being enthusiasts of all things mysterious, were intrigued by these stories and decided to find out how much truth there was to them. Their journey began with a long drive through the scorching Arizona desert. The sun blazed in the sky, and their car quickly turned into an oven. They stopped at a local store to buy water bottles and snacks in case they had to spend a long time inside the cave. When they arrived at Moqui Cave, the first thing that caught their attention was the huge opening in the rocks, resembling the mouth of a giant beast. The entrance to the cave was adorned with strange geological formations, giving it a mystical appearance. They took their flashlights and started descending into the cave. Immediately, they felt the coolness and humidity of the air, which was different from the scorching desert outside. The flashlight beams illuminated narrow corridors and rocky walls, making it seem like they had entered another world. The deeper they explored the cave, the more unusual the formations around them appeared. Rocks took on bizarre shapes, resembling faces and animals. Anna spotted a stone that strongly resembled a human face with an expression of deep sorrow. "Look, Mike, this looks like a human face," she said, touching the wall. Mike chuckled. "Yes, maybe, but it has just a natural formation. Nothing supernatural about it." Anna felt a sense of unease but decided not to dwell on her own fantasies. They continued their journey deeper into the cave. After several hours of exploring Moqui Cave, Anna and Mike began to notice strange phenomena. Flashlights would sometimes flicker and go out on their own, despite being fully charged. The sounds emanating from the depths of the cave were undefined and unusual, and it seemed like something was watching them. "Mike, do you hear that?" Anna asked when her ears caught a strange whisper. Mike slowed down and touched his flashlight, which once again went out. "Something is not right here," he said cautiously. They continued moving forward, and suddenly, before them appeared a vast chamber with an underground lake. The lake was calm and eerie, reflecting the icy glow of their flashlights, but the strangest part was a massive stone in the middle of the lake, resembling a throne. Anna and Mike exchanged glances, and Mike whispered, "It looks like a throne. Perhaps someone used this cave as a refuge in the past." At that very moment, as they examined the throne, their flashlights went out completely, leaving them in complete darkness. Panic gripped Anna, and she began searching for a flashlight but couldn't find it. "Mike, where are you?" she cried out into the darkness. But there was no response. She was alone, lost in the darkness of this mystical cave. Suddenly, she felt something intangible around her, as if there had come alive. She cautiously took a step back, but her feet hit something solid. She bent down to investigate, and horror froze on her face. In her hand, she held a human bone. Anna let out a horrified scream and stumbled back, away from something she couldn't initially see in the darkness. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she realized she was surrounded by human skeletons, as if it were a graveyard. Fear gripped her heart, and she knew she had to get out of this nightmarish situation. She began running through the dark corridors, not knowing where she was going. It felt like there were footsteps behind her, and she sensed that something was approaching. She couldn't determine whether it was a friendly entity or a hostile one, but she needed to escape. Finally, she reached the exit of the cave and burst into the daylight. Her heart pounded so hard it felt like it would leap out of her chest. She looked around to make sure no one was following her, and only then did she realize that Mike had not returned. Anna decided not to wait and headed back into the cave, armed with a new flashlight. She was determined to find her friend, despite all the horrors she had just experienced. She explored the cave even deeper, leaping over rock debris and passing by eerie anthropomorphic formations. Finally, she reached the lake with the throne and began to carefully examine it. And there, she saw him, Mike. He was sitting on the throne, his eyes vacant, life having left his body. Anna called out his name, but he did not respond. She rushed to him and tried to awaken him, but he remained motionless. The next few hours, Anna spent by Mike's side, unsuccessfully trying to bring him back to life. She had to admit that her friend was gone forever. She had no choice but to leave the cave and report this horrifying incident to the local authorities. After Mike's death, Anna never returned to Moqui Cave. Her life changed forever, and she became a staunch advocate of cautionary tales about the cave. She warned everyone she knew to stay away from this place. Nevertheless, Moqui Cave continued to attract those who sought mysteries and secrets. Locals continued to tell stories of unexplained events and disappearances happening inside the cave. The legend of Moqui Cave lived on, remaining a mysterious place in the heart of Arizona. Anna was left alone with the mystery of Mike's death and the enigmatic events inside Moqui Cave. She could never understand what had truly happened there, and she cursed her decision to venture into that place. She always felt that something sinister and inexplicable lurked inside the cave, a secret that would forever remain unsolved. And so, Moqui Cave continued to evoke fascination and fear, remaining a place where reality and mysticism converged, and people continued to vanish without a trace.